Hello and welcome everybody. So today is a new day and we are going to start with the model millionaire. As I promised that we are going to start with the fresh topics also for class 9. This is the part 1 of the video and our video will be on divided in two parts. The explanation part, this is the part 1, and the second part we are going to do after this, right? So in this particular topic, what are we going to do? We are going to discuss the meanings. We are going to explain, I'm going to explain every single line so that you do not have any doubt even in a word. Those who haven't followed my website slothskill.com, don't forget to check it because this is going to be very helpful for you. Right. So without any more delay, let's move into the topic, and I have used a lot of relevant pictures that is going to help you to understand the topic better. So let's start. First paragraph. Unless one is wealthy, so this is a chapter, this is a story written by Oscar Wilde, and this is going to be extremely kind of a happening, interesting story for you. Okay, so pay attention. Unless one is wealthy, there is no use in being a charming fellow, which means that the author is suggesting that if you don't have money, if you don't have proper wealth, if you're not wealthy, then it is going to be useless even if you look this handsome like this man, as you can see in the picture, right? He looks so handsome, but we will soon know that he does not have money at all, and that is why his handsome face makes no sense at all. Alright. Next, romance is the privilege of the rich, not the profession of the unemployed. So if you are unemployed, if you do not have a job, you will stop worrying about how you look. Okay. The poor should be practical and prosaic. So somebody who does not have a job, who does not have kind of money, they need to focus on practical matters rather than on their face. Okay. It is better to have a permanent income than to be fascinating, of course. If you were given options that whether you want to be rich or whether you want to look beautiful, possibly every wise person will choose wealth, because with wealth you can even become handsome using all that stuff that we have in the market these days, right? These are the great truths of modern life which Hughie Erskine never realized. So he never understood. This is the man who is like possibly according to the picture as I have placed over here, take it as Hughie, and he was kind of he never realized this, that being handsome is kind of unnecessary, wealth is everything. He did not understand this. Intellectually, we must admit he was not of much importance. He was not that intellectually significant or strong. Okay, he never said a brilliant or even an ill-natured thing in his life. So neither was he very rude. Okay, neither did he have exceptional vocal qualities, attributes, neither was he particularly clever, nor was he very mean. Okay, neither very bad nor very good. But then he was wonderfully good looking with his crisp brown hair. So he had brown hair, he had grey eyes. Okay, he was as popular with men as he was with women. So he was handsome, that is of course true, but it's not that only women liked him. He was liked by both men and women. And he was, of course, don't take it as the gay men, of course not those. Everybody liked him, possibly because he was not just handsome, he had some other quality too. We will come to know that. So he had every accomplishment except that of making money. He only could not become rich. He tried a number of ways, but he could not become rich. His father had bequeathed him, that means his father had, after his father's death, he inherited some of his father's property. What was it? One was the cavalry sword. Okay, as you will see in this picture, this is the cavalry sword, and he was also given and a history of the Peninsular War, as you can see from here. Okay, so he got these two after his father's death. That means his father did not leave him a lot of money, and Hughie hung the first. So the first meaning, which one? The cavalry sword. So where did he keep this cavalry sword? Of course he could not use it, so he just hung it over the mirror in his house. Okay, just kept it above the mirror, as you can see over here, right? So 1 second. Yes, so this is the mirror and he hung it over there. Next one, as you can see, where did he keep this book? This is just the volume 1, but according to the story, this History of the Peninsular War had 15 volumes. Okay, this is just one volume. So these 15 books like stacked over here. In which place? In Hughie hung the first over his looking glass, put the second on a shelf between Ruff's Guide and Bailey's Magazine. So there was Ruff's Guide and Bailey's Magazine up and down, and the rest of it in the middle was all these 15 history of the Peninsular War volumes. Okay, and lived on 200 a year, that an old, so 200 a year, he got 200 kind of maybe possibly pound, okay, that an old aunt allowed him. So he got 200 pound from his aunt and he used that to survive. He had tried everything. He had gone on the stock exchange for 6 months. So what are the things that he did? This is important. Number one, he invested his money in stock market. Okay, but it is already said that he is not that intellectually wise, so this one became a flop. He did not suit well. See, but what was a butterfly to do among bulls and bears? So over there he was not at all homely. He did not. He had a very carefree nature, no. So he could not involve himself in such a serious environment like a stock exchange, okay, stock market. That was very competitive and serious, so he could not be successful over here. So stock market, stock exchange gone. Now comes number two. Number two, what did he do? He had been a tea merchant for a little longer. So next he became a tea merchant. So for a little longer, but had been soon tired of pique and social. What is this? These are the new and the old leaves. Okay, the new and old leaves we have, na, first flash, second flash, fourth flash, like that. So the new ones are called pique. Maybe the pronunciation you can check. And soshang, this is actually the kind of maybe the fourth flush. Okay, the fourth time the leaves are, the top leaves are only taken. So these are the old leaves. Then he had tried selling dry sherry. So what is this dry sherry? This is actually wine made from this dried sherry. Okay, but here also that did not answer. So he became tired of this tea business, and then he moved into this wine business, sherry wine. But that also flopped, possibly because this sherry was extremely dry for him. Okay, ultimately he became nothing. So therefore all the three professions, other than these two pictures, we have the investment of stock exchange also. Next, he could do nothing, a delightful, ineffectual young man with a perfect profile and no profession. So ultimately, he was an ineffectual young man, noted for his attractive appearance, but lacking a proper career. Okay. Next. To make matters worse, he was in love. Now, it's not just that he did not have money and all, he had also fallen in love. Okay. The girl he loved was Laura Merton. So this is, possibly take it as Laura Merton, the daughter of a retired colonel who had lost his temper and his digestion in India. Possibly colonel was working in India and there he had eaten a lot of spicy food that he could not digest well, and he had some digestive problems. So he kept on suffering from digestion. And second of all, because if you आपका अगर पेट ठीक ना हो तो you will always be very angry and चिड़चिड़ा बनके you will be suffering, and your temper will also be lost easily. And he had never found either of them again. So neither did he cool down a bit. He was always angry, and neither did he get his digestion back. So that was also lost. Laura adored him, and he was ready to kiss her shoestring. So Laura loved our boy a lot, and he also liked her so much that he could do anything and everything. Okay, whatever. He did not care whether he was kissing her shoestrings or not. He had no ego in this case. They were the handsomest couple in London. So when they lived in London, they were the most handsome, okay, couple, and had not a penny piece between them. Neither did they have money. They did not have money, but they were the most handsome couple there. The colonel was very fond of Hughie, but would not hear of any engagement. So the problem was, the father was angry and everything, that is fine, but he could not leave Laura to a person who did not earn anything. Okay, so that is why he did not want to listen anything about engagement or marriage, but he was not rude to Hughie also. Okay, next one. Come to me, my boy, when you have got 10,000 pounds. So once you are rich, once you have 10,000 pounds of your own, and we will see about it. So once you are rich, we will talk about your marriage with Laura. And Hughie looked very glum on those days. So Hughie thought, how would I be rich? I tried every place and still I am not rich. So he felt upset because of his father-in-law's prospective father-in-law's words, and had to go to Laura for consolation. So he had to feel better, and where did he feel better? He went to Laura for all the comfort. Okay, next. Come to the next page. One morning, as he was on his way to Holland Park, where the Mertons lived, he dropped in to see see a great friend of his, Alan Trevor. Trevor was a painter. So this is our Alan Trevor, a new character introduced, and we will know something more about Alan Trevor. So he is actually the first point over here. He is actually a painter, right? Where did he live? The Mertons lived. So he lived in Merton. No, the place where he lives is Holland Park. Next. So the Mertons lived in Holland Park, and he went to meet Alan Trevor. Trevor was a painter. This is the first point that we come to know. Second, appearance. These are important because character analysis will be asked. Pay attention now. I will also give you the notes of this. Okay. So indeed, few people escape that nowadays, but he was also an artist, and artists are rather rare. Personally, he was a strange, rough fellow with a freckled face. Freckled, you'll see now, this picture does not have it. Sometimes people have freckles over there, kind of pimples all over this part of the face. So these are freckles, and a red ragged beard, as you can see in this picture. Okay, so he was a rough looking, freckled face and had a red ragged beard. However, when he took up the brush, he was a real master. So maybe his look was not that handsome as our boy in this chapter, Hughie, but he was very good. He had a lot of money. He was a good painter and a real master in painting. And his pictures were eagerly sought after. So people were interested in buying his pictures, in his paintings. So he was rich, of course. He was a renowned artist. He had been very much attracted by Hughie at first, it must be acknowledged, entirely on account of his personal charm. So initially what happened, he was a painter, no? So seeing a handsome boy like Hughie, he was overwhelmed and he kept him as a friend, possibly because he was a painter and he thought that he would draw Hughie once, okay, in one of his easels. So initially he befriended Hughie because of his look, okay, but and what was the reason that he only gives? The only people a painter should know, he used to say, are people who are beat and beautiful. That means who are interesting and good looking. So I found you interesting and good looking, Hughie, and that is why I have kept you as my friend. People who are an artistic pleasure to look at and an intellectual repose to talk to. So these people who look beautiful and it feels good when you look at a beautiful face, these are the people who we should keep as friends, as painters, right? Men who are dandies and women who are darlings rule the world, at least they should do so. See how ironic is this statement. If irony question is asked, you can use this line as a quote. Okay? It's not that according to Trevor, who had a lot of money, he feels that if the world is ruled by beautiful faces like dandies for men and darlings for women, those who are beautiful, they rule the world. Okay, but in reality that is not so. Even Hughie has a very handsome face, but he's not ruling the world. He's very poor. Okay. So however, those whatever we lack now, we think that is the best thing. Trevor, who has money, thinks beauty is the best. Now Hughie, who has no money, thinks money is best and being handsome is nothing, right? So we are never satisfied with what we have. However, after he got to know Hughie better, he liked him quite as much for his bright, buoyant spirits. Buoyant spirits means adventurous and cheerful nature, okay, and his generous, reckless nature, and had given him the permanent entry to his studio. So later on, when he came to know that, when he knew Hughie better and he heard that Hughie is not that rich and stuff, he still liked him because he was very carefree, he was open-hearted, he had an adventurous personality, and for these qualities, Trevor liked Hughie. Okay, let's move to the next page now. When Hughie came in, he found Trevor. So he went to meet Trevor, no? So he saw that Trevor was painting. Okay, Trevor putting his finishing touches. So the painting was almost done, and he was just putting the finishing touches to a wonderful life-size picture of a beggar man. So he was drawing a life-size portrait of a beggar man. The beggar himself was standing on a raised platform in a corner of the studio. He was a wizened old man. Wizened means all wrinkled. Wrinkled, the face will have lines once you are old. So all those lines on the face, they are wrinkles. Beside the eyes, you will find them. Okay. So with a face like wrinkled parchment, meaning they're like crumbled paper. Sometimes we crumble the paper and throw na. Possibly when we write a poem or something, we crumble the paper and throw it away. So just like that crumbled piece of paper, his face looked, and a most piteous expression. So his expression was very, very sad, because he is a beggar and he is suffering, right, for food and for a good life. Over his shoulders was flung a coarse brown cloak. So he was wearing a cloak also. This is the cloak actually, the one that you can see in the picture, just somehow covering the body, and you can see it is all in patches. See, all torn. And cobbled means it is completely in repairs. There are patches here and there, somehow managing to stay together. And with one hand he leant on a rough stick. So on one hand there was a stick, he was leaning on it, and on the other hand, this picture I could not get a perfect one. Here he was holding his cap, okay, ulta karke he was holding it, okay, upturned way, as if asking for money, alms, like for begging. Battered meaning also damaged. So the hat was also damaged. It was, here and there it was having holes or stuff. Next, what an amazing model. So this is a beautiful model, such an amazing one, okay, like exact picture of a beggar. So Hughie said that this is an awesome picture. This is kind of a great portrait, or what should I say, a model that you have found, exactly embodying the the situation of a poor person, actually exactly the same appearance a poor person has. As he shook hands with his friend, an amazing model, shouted Trevor at the top of his voice. I should think so. Yes, of course, he's an excellent, amazing model. Okay, such beggars as he are not to be met with every day. So generally, you don't find, even if you are searching for a long time, you don't find a model like this. Okay, that if you want to draw a poor man and you get the exact model, that is very rare. Okay, so a trouvel mot cher. So a trouvel mot cher. This is the exact pronunciation. Trouvel mot cher is a French word. What does it mean? It means that it is a fantastic find. Okay, somehow I managed to find such a model. So a living Velasquez. Okay, Velasquez is actually a Spanish painter. And my stars, that means by stars means sometimes we say na, that it is our destiny that finally we met and I got you as my model. Okay, so he was very excited about it. My stars, what an etching. Rembrandt. Rembrandt is another painter, famous painter, and he's a Dutch painter. So Velasquez is a Spanish painter and Rembrandt is a Dutch painter. Would have made of him. So if these famous artists, painters got him as a model, okay, they could have made even more beautiful portraits and paintings. Okay, so I am the one who is who is blessed with this kind of a model. Poor old chap, said Hughie, how miserable he looks. So he is just looking so miserable. Okay, he's poor and miserable. But I suppose to you painters, his face is his fortune. So because he has such a such a worn out, and because of his face now, all those wrinkles and stuff, that is why he can pose as the best model as a poor person, right? So possibly this is going to bring him fortune. If you are painting him, this is actually the portrait. Okay, so if you are painting him and you are using him to paint such a beautiful model, beautiful painting, possibly his face will earn him money. Okay, because of his wrinkled face, he is going to earn money from you. Certainly, replied Trevor. You don't want a beggar to look happy, do you? So of course this face should not be the one who is standing as a model for a beggar, should not look very handsome and satisfied. He should look sad and depressed and poor and hungry. So how much does a model get for sitting? So he is sitting, of course sitting means when he comes here and poses. So how much does he earn from here? Asked Hughie as he found himself a comfortable seat on a divan. A shilling an hour. So here I have also added the denominations. Okay, we will explain this, we will discuss this, don't worry. So he gets 1 shilling, right? Yes, 1 shilling an hour. That means he gets 0.58 rupee. Okay, just imagine he gets 1 shilling is equal to 0.58 rupee. That is a very less amount, and that also for 1 whole hour of this standing. He's standing, na, he's not sitting. So although he's standing for so long, he's just going to get this much amount. Okay, next. And how much do you get for your picture, Alan? So Alan Trevor, how much do you earn? Because of course the excitement that you're showing means that you're going to earn a lot from this picture. So how much do you earn? So he says how much? He says, oh, for this I get 2000. So 2000, you see, 2000 what? Pounds? Yes. 1 pound is equal to 106.12 rupee. So let us make this easier. So actually artists and stuff, see the next line, guineas, painters, poets and physicians always get guineas. So now guinea is not there in the market at all. So 1 guinea is actually 20 shillings, 20 to 30 shillings. Okay, it varies. So 1 guinea is equal to 20 shillings to 30 shillings. So he is going to get how many guineas? 2000 guineas, right? Yes, 2000 guineas. 2000 guineas means 20 shillings, just multiply 20 or 30 with 2000. 30 into 2000 is equal to 60,000 shillings approximately. So Trevor is going to earn 60,000 shillings. Let us take it as shillings only. We will understand how much the painter is getting and how much the model is getting. Although the model is so very important over here. See, 60,000 shillings he is going to earn. That is, Trevor is going to earn, and how much this person is going to get, even if he is sitting there for 5 hours, he is just going to get 5 shillings. And how much he is getting? 60,000 shillings. So you can understand the difference. Okay, that this is kind of what? This is exploitation, because he is painting, looking at this person, he finds this person very suitable for this painting, but even then he is just going to pay him 5 shillings or 6 shillings, as many hours. Well, I think the model should have a percentage, but because it is just like a copy now of this person. So it is necessary that he is also equally important over here. So you should give him a percentage, okay, of this 60,000 shillings. Nonsense. Sorry. They work quite as hard as you do. So he is also standing over here now on his legs. So it is important that you pay him properly. Nonsense, nonsense. Why look at the trouble of laying on the paint alone? So now Trevor is a very rude person. He says, आपको तो पता ही नहीं है कि how much trouble I am taking as a painter. I have to make much effort to apply the paint, to apply the color, to color this painting. Then and stand by the easel all day. Easel means this block on which you will paint, right? There is a stand, and on it this thing is kept, and on it you draw. So you have to stand beside it and keep drawing. So that is also very difficult, and he does not understand that this man is also standing over here. It's not just he who is standing, right? So it is almost like manual labor according to Trevor, that I have to stand all day long, and it is extremely hard work. It is quite a work like a labor. But you mustn't chatter. So you please don't talk. I am very busy. Smoke a cigarette and keep quiet. So just smoke a cigarette. I am busy. Let me finish my work. After some time, the servant came in. So he found soon after this he was quiet, and soon after that he found that the servant has come in and told Trevor that the frame maker wanted to speak to him. As I told you ना, इसको frame भी करते हैं, frame बिठाते हैं इसके चारों ओर, ठीक है? So that frame maker had come and he wanted to speak to him. Don't run away, Hughie, he said as he went out. I will be back in a moment, so don't leave. I will come back and we will talk. The old beggar man took advantage of Trevor's absence to rest for a moment on a wooden bench that was behind him. So he was standing for a long time, this beggar model, right? So his feet were paining possibly, and he sat down on the pedestal on which he was standing, right? So he sat to rest his legs for some time. He looked so forlorn and wretched that Yuki could not help pitying him and felt in his pockets to see what money he had. So Yuki felt very sorry for him because he was very sad looking and he was miserable, possibly he was hungry. So he checked his pockets to see if he had some money which he could give him. What he could find? a sovereign and some coppers. He found sovereign is actually gold coin, and he found it some coppers also. So coppers is kind of, we have paisa, no, like that, and sovereign you can take it as a greater denomination of money. Okay. Poor old fellow, he thought to himself, he wants it more than I do. So of course I have a sovereign and I have some coppers, I can give that paisa also, the coppers also, but he needs the money. So it is better that I give the greater share of what I have in my pocket to this man. Okay. Because he needs more than I do. But it means no hansoms for a fortnight. Hansom is actually cab, okay, kind of horse-drawn cabs like previously people used to have. So I cannot, bhare pe koi cab nahi le sakta. If I want to go somewhere, I cannot hire a cab, but maybe I have to walk. Okay, but still I will give it to him because it is necessary for him. Possibly he has not eaten anything. And he walked across the studio and slipped the sovereign into the beggar's hand. So wherever he was sitting, he came from there to this man and gave him the money, the sovereign, not the coppers. So from here we can understand that he was very generous, isn't it? He did not think about his satisfying lifestyle, but he gave it to this poor man. Okay, so sorry, where is it? Yes. The old man started, and a faint smile flitted across his withered lips. So his lips were all withered and wrinkled. So he suddenly smiled. Very small smile appeared on his face, but it was a very satisfying smile that appeared on his face. And what did the poor man say? Thank you, sir, he said. Thank you. So I'm extremely satisfied. He was extremely satisfied, and he thanked Hughie a number of times. Okay, so 20,000 guinea, to understand the real denomination in our currency, it is 34,800. That means the amount that Trevor is going to earn is 34,800 rupees for one picture. Okay, so here we will keep this topic for today. We will do the next half. We have done 3 pages, other 3 pages are left, and by that we are going to finish the topic. So that we are going to do in the next class, and in the next to next class we are going to discuss the important things from where question can come from this chapter. Okay, so that is all. See you in my next class. Of course, don't forget to like, share and subscribe.